Impossible, like Warrior, to the detriment of the entire sector. South Africa's film industry is as old as Hollywood. There's something to think about there, because everybody thinks we are trying to be Hollywood. We've been around. Post-apartheid filmmakers who have produced fiction feature films include the likes of Jenna Bass, who's made Love, The One You Love, High Fantasy, Flatland, Nozipho Dumisa, Number 37, Oliver Hermanus, who made Murphy, Shirley, Schoenhead, and Endless River, Darren Joshua, Nuame Squali, Kagiso Lidija, Catching Feelings, and many more that we all know. Jamil Kubeka, who's made Knuckle City, and many other films, Oliver Schmidt, Sips Shongwe. There are so many to mention, not to even mention myself. Many of these films were produced with the support of the DTIC Film Rebate and contributions from international film funds, with world premieres at Rotterdam International Film Festival, Cannes Film Festival, Toronto International Film Festival, Biennale, and Sundance. South African filmmakers who have excelled in Hollywood include the obvious Gavin Hood, Tsotsi, and many others, and most recent, our very own Thuso Mbedu. Then NAVF creates an enabling environment for international co-production by certifying content and ensuring that we have treaties. Our current treaties that we have sit with Canada, Germany, Italy, United Kingdom, France, New Zealand, Netherlands, and most recently with some African countries, Kenya, Nigeria, Algeria, and Ivory Coast. Currently, we are facing some real challenges. Co-productions are very important in the servicing sector of our industry. And I have a long, long list of many films that we've made, but I'm worried about my time. We're currently facing stiff competition around the world on servicing of international productions. This will result in us losing a lot of foreign direct investment to the likes of Mauritius, Morocco, Ireland, Canada, Malta, Hungary. This comes as there is policy uncertainty around South Africa's incentives, which have been the cornerstone of the industry's progress over the past 20 years. I cannot speak of other people's private numbers, but I can talk to my own companies. Moonlighting in 2023 produced Boy Kills World, Invasion 2, Mission Impossible, Warrior Season 3, 1923. The actual South African foreign direct investment spend on just these productions was 2,043,689,381 rands. I'm glad I could read that number. It was a lot. Jobs created, 5,846. 70% of these jobs were to the youth. The rebate from DTIC paid out 242 million. And I just want to go back to the number. It is 2 billion that was spent. The return from government was 200 million. Work out the multiplier effect. Locally, Known Associates produced Ubetina season 1 to 4. The spend on this series was 184 million. The return from government was 64 million. We made 7 films in the last year. The spend on these films was 350 million. The return from government was 165 million. The jobs that we have created with just these local films and local drama series is 3,000 jobs. 70% of them went to the youth. What's really interesting about our industry is that we employ across the entire value chain, from the unskilled, uneducated, skilled, and educated. So you don't always have to produce your matric certificate. This morning I read South Africa's entertainment and media industry is set to grow over 230 billion in the next few years. This is according to PwC's Africa Entertainment and Media Outlook. So here's my final thought. I'm just one of potentially 300 producers. So if you work out our numbers, if you work out how much economic impact we have on this country, why are we not seen as a real contributing manufacturing industry? Why don't we get mentioned at the State of the Nation like Tenswalo? Why is it our government stakeholders and institutions are sitting with acting CEOs, acting DGs, acting DDGs, chief directors, directors? Why are there no permanent positions for policy to be made clearly by people who believe and understand our industry, who want us to thrive, who are not scared to make decisions because they are in acting positions? I'm afraid I have to borrow from Mamleta Mbuli. It is certain that we are not yet Uhuru. Thank you.
I think you've set the scene very well for the conversation we're going to have with politicians. They have to answer the questions you've put to them. We know that they preferably would want to talk to us about why we should vote for them, but for today is to deal with the issues that we've put up front. The conundrum that you faced with your parents and the choice of career reminds me of my own, but it was the lady next door to my home in Dobsonville, Soweto. I could not tell her what I'm going to study, because I thought she would never understand it. It was going to be journalism, but I knew she was not going to get it. So I said, and she said, very sadly, I must say, well, I survived, and yes, I did contribute a bit to her later in life. We're going to take a body break, guys. I'd like to call it a body break. I'm going to ask that we take about 15 minutes of a break and come back and get to our conversation with the political parties. They are politicians, and they are politicians, political parties, and hopefully find out where you're going to take these industries if you make it into office. But it doesn't matter, you don't have to be in office. You will be in the structures where policies are debated and you can influence policy. You should influence policy. 5 minutes, we shall meet again at 11:28. I'll give you a grace, 11:30.